and he had a brain aneurysm from a little splinter.
Has he ever told you this?
And that was my first buck, whitetail deer.
You got it.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Is this okay having a drink here?
Yeah. I don't know why you had to choose a pink drink, but yes, it's okay.
He is number
seriously.
one. He is number one.
Seriously.
Oh, golly. This is going to be a long night, I can guarantee it. What we've been doing, folks, we have, I normally go to bed pretty early. Matter of fact, I am not the life of the party. I'm the death of a party.
He's up way past his bedtime, like way past.
They've had a party going on here tonight. Every night there's a party at Legends Ranch, and anyway, the music's been going and stuff, and we're trying to get this podcast going, and it's kind of hard. Robert's, I think he's looking for an excuse not to do it, and I'm looking for an excuse to go to bed.
Yeah.
So let's hurry up and get this done. We're gonna have a really good podcast, though.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you, we're in the Wildlife Center up out of Bitely, Michigan. This is a one-of-a-kind facility. I've been coming up here since 1999, but this is a relatively new building. We'll talk to Robert in a minute, find out how old it is. 4 years old, I reckon. Yeah. But it's unbelievable. But Robert is the director up here, and Robert is he's OCD, ADD, and ABCD. He's everything. Okay, and right now we're waiting on him to get back so we can get this podcast started.
Because he didn't like the color of his drink.
Okay, so we years ago, anybody that watched our television show sees Legends Ranch is the number one hunting lodge in North America.
Thank you.
That's what we call it, and we believe it is. And there's a reason why we think it is, because I've been to a lot of hunting lodges, but I've never been to one like this. Okay, and so like I told everybody a little while ago, I started coming up here in 1999. There's something magical about the outdoors, and we all have, I think, love affairs with nature, that we have special places that we like to go, whether it's out the Intermountain West or down in the desert or up here in the Northwoods, and we all have these favorite places we like to go, and Legends Ranch is one of my favorite places on earth to go. Okay, and they specialize in having giant whitetail deer, and they got giant whitetail deer. But you know what? And y'all have had giant whitetail deer for a long time, but there's a lot of places that have giant whitetail deer. Okay, so what makes Legends Ranch stand out amongst everybody else is the fact that it's not just about the deer; it's about all this. Okay, it's about the experience. And so what we want to do, we want people to know more about Legends Ranch, the Wildlife Center here, why it exists, and how hard it is in order for you to keep all the balls in there at one time. Okay.
Yep.
So anyway, and so Johnny, I want Johnny to kind of introduce himself, because this is a new podcast. We're learning how to do this. Okay, we just bought this equipment
On the spot.
And Johnny says, "Have you ever listened to podcasts before?" I said, "Nope." And I said, "But I know a lot of people do." He said, "You need to listen to Joe Rogan." I said, "Well, Joe who? No, I've heard of that guy." And somebody said, "You need to be on there because he wanted to talk to you about CWD or something." I was like, "Oh, I never did it." But so anyway, I'm totally new to podcasts. Johnny listens to them. Robert's listened to them. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate that. And that you can't even tell what color that drink is.
It's still pink though, folks.
So anyway, when I like I said, I've been coming up here a long time, but Johnny started coming up here. Johnny's been working with me now for 6 years.
6 years.
And tell everybody about when you started coming up here, how you were kind of blown away.
Well, so I did a pig hunt with Keith to start out with, but my first ever big game hunt was right here at Legends Ranch. Keith took a massive velvet buck with an air gun, a dragon claw, and when he shot that, I was as worked up as I was if I would have been shooting it while I was filming, and it was awesome. And I got to meet Robert, and Ridge was our guide for the first time, who was an extremely professional, and but when I walked into this place, it was fantastic.
No, hold on a minute. I'm gonna interrupt. One podcast coming up we're gonna do about our relationship, Johnny's my relationship, and kind of how it all started.
Yeah.
Okay, but just to kind of tease that a little bit, I'm just gonna tell you when he says the very first hunt I took him on was a pig hunt. Okay, it was a pig hunt. I took him to a shithole. Okay, I mean, can I say that on the podcast?
I think so.
Okay,
right?
So I took him to like a shithole. Okay, but it was a lot of pigs. I mean, it was like ground zero for some of the best pig hunting anywhere. And the reason why I did that, because I knew that we were going to go from the absolute worst to the worst as far as accommodations go to the best of the best. And I was going to see, because if Johnny couldn't hang for the shithole, well, he probably couldn't hang with me. Okay, so anyway, so I took him this horrible place. Then all of a sudden, I bring him here, and voila.
He paid me off by bringing me to Legends Ranch.
So you go ahead and lead this thing off.
Yeah, so I met Robert and all the guys here, and the awesome thing about Legends is, and to your credit, Robert, is like he said, it's all about the experience and the people that work here, because they're not just people that work here. Like, they become family to, I know Keith for forever, but to me as well. You know, especially Robert, he's an extremely good friend, and every single guide you have here, Robert, we were bragging about it today in the blind, is phenomenal from top to bottom. You know, just the way they look out for you.
Have you noticed over the past 8 years or so, you don't really have the same guide? So I keep throwing you a new one every time, just so you can meet more people and have new experiences and get to know our people, our employees, my family.
Well, that's what we love about it, is, and because we get to kind of hang out. We know all the guys here, but we get to like fully experience someone new every time we come out here.
Well, that's not the guides. Okay, we need to talk about this. Okay, how many employees do you have here?
I have 30 employees.
30. You hear that? Okay, I'd rather have a rectal exam than have 30 employees. Okay, I'm not kidding.
It's not just the ranch; it's all different sectors that make Legends Ranch what it is.
You know, and the thing about it is you don't really realize that as a hunter. Okay, you come to the SCI show, for example, okay, and you walk past your booth, and you've got a beautiful booth and beautiful artwork and all, but you don't really realize what it takes to do all this stuff, okay? It's not just your guides, okay? You talked about Ridge, the very first guide, but Randy, Ridge was the guide when I brought you out here for the first time. Randy has been here for over 25 years. He was here when I got here, okay? And these guys are their family, and they've been here forever. And when you come back and you see them over and over, but it's not just the guides. You've got people that take care of the accommodations. I mean, this is a big operation. Okay, tell everybody how many acres you've got.
Yeah, we have about 2,000 acres. We have about 300 outside the fence as well. So I'm excited for the future expansion if we ever expand out there. Mm-hmm. And it's broken up into about 1,000 acres on each side or so.
Okay, so tell everybody you've got a lodge, and how big is the lodge, and how many rooms it got, and how many people that sleep?
Yeah, we have 10 rooms, and it sleeps 18 beds comfortably. So we usually have different groups anywhere from the sizes anywhere from 12 to about 16 or so. I think is a perfect size for entertaining, people being able to talk to each other, learn new people, and it's not just one little group. I really want to get other people talking to new hunters, from people that have never hunted before to people that have been all around the world hunting, and I want people to learn from each other, and I'd like to break down those barriers and have them come in to the ranch and to share their experiences, to just show people that the world is out there and hunts are all over the place.
We have, since I've been coming here, I mean, when I came here in 99, it's like, oh my God, this is like the most beautiful place on earth. And you've gotten better and better and better. And in the last 8 years, it has gotten so much better. And I didn't think it could get better. Okay, seriously. I mean, it's like, and the biggest addition, I think, is the Wildlife Center. Okay, you've got Wildlife Center is a one-of-a-kind facility, and I've been to a lot of places around the world many times, but I've never seen a place like this. And this place exists, folks, in my opinion, to help protect the future of hunting for people that aren't even born yet. Okay, so tell everybody about the Wildlife Center and what's in it and what its mission is.
Of course. So I might ramble on right now, but my grandfather, Arthur Gutierrez, he grew up in Cuba. He did a little duck hunting, dove hunting when he was younger down there.
Move closer to the microphone, they keep telling me.
That's fine. That's fine. And then he immigrated over to Boston when he was 17 years old, went to MIT, did commercial real estate his whole life, but put away hunting until he was 50. And for the past 35 years, he's hunted like crazy. And all over the world, was very fortunate to go on all these hunts, and is still hunting to this day. So the collection of the Wildlife Center is about 75% of his animals that he's taken, about 10% of my uncles, 10% of myself, and 5% of my aunt and uncles. So it is our family collection of animals that we've harvested, and it's about 3,000 animals so far. And we're very fortunate that we were able to move a lot of these animals out here about 5 years ago, back in 2018 or 19, and we established a nonprofit to teach and educate the future generations about conservation through hunting. And that is holds deep into my heart, because I've been very blessed and very fortunate to be able to do and experience the world and the different hunts, and to be able to do that with the family and friends that I love, and to be able to pass that on and to continue my grandfather's legacy and start creating my legacy and impacting the next generation of youth hunters and women that hunt, or even just another person that has never had the opportunity to be able to create those possibilities and those chances for people to create those memories that you get from hunting. And very blessed that we can do this.
Well, when you show up here as a deer hunter, you're going to be able to experience Wildlife Center firsthand. And what happens is you're going to go out and hunt during the day. When you get done hunting, more than likely somebody's going to take an animal, okay? And there's something special goes on when you take an animal. And there's something that should go on special. It's a celebration. So tell everybody what you do.
Yep. So every year I like to come up with different traditions. And one of our traditions is if they do take a buck, we will pop a bottle of champagne. If it is their first animal, of course, we'll do the blooding ceremony and blood them on their face. And it irks a couple of the women that come. But I say it's a big honor to me, and every single one does it. And that's big to me. Some other traditions, the torch ceremony. We have a lighting of the eternal flame that represents the spirit of the doe or the buck. And we light it, and at the end of the week, we're walking down the path of all the spirits of the deer, and being able to walk through that path at the end of the week that connects the lodge to the Wildlife Center means a lot to me, and I hope it means a lot to the hunters that come through here, but that's what I love.
And so after you wind up experiencing the celebration of the deer, tell everybody what you're going to do when you come in here, Johnny.
When you come in here to the Wildlife Center?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, first of all, they're going to have probably your fourth or fifth meal of the day, and you're going to keep eating. And then you're going to have a little bit of drinks. Somebody may be playing music. There may be wine tasting. It's absolutely phenomenal. And then after that, you're going to walk around here and look at all these mounts. And I'm talking about I personally have been coming here for 6 years, and I really love taxidermy, and I try to really check. I still haven't seen every mount in this place. That's how many there are. And something I want to talk to you about that I think a lot of people that really like taxidermy would appreciate. I consider myself a taxidermy connoisseur. Like, I go in and I see, I'm not into wine, but I like taxidermy a lot. And I say, okay, that's hung there, that's hung there. How did you get this all up here in such an elegant manner?
Well, that's very kind of you. Well, they all started on the ground. And myself and a couple other people, Dan Rosman especially, he helped me put everything up together. And we started out not knowing. The first day, I had 8 different people, all my guides and Dan, and we got 3 animals hung. We got a buffalo and a leopard and another buffalo, a skull. And everybody wanted to give me their opinion and everything, and I almost lost a couple people, actually. So I had to tell everybody, please just leave, and I will do it with one other person. And that was Dan, and then we just spent about a month and a half or so working on the walls and putting them up, taking them down, left, right. A lot of my laser pointer, up, down, left, right. And so it was tiring, but we did it, and we still do it. We still take down certain bays and certain walls and try to put more animals in. And we have another about 400 or so at the taxidermy shop. And I always joke with my grandfather. I'm like, hey, if you want to actually finish these taxidermied animals, we might need to expand, because what's the point of taxiderming them if I need to go rent out a storage unit now just to store them? So
what are the odds of expansion?
The odds are, I would say, over 80%.
Yeah.
So
well, I'm going to tell you all a little bit. When we started, Robert was trying to get something done. I said he's OCD and ADD, he's all the above. Let me tell you something. When it came to him putting the animals up, I want to tell you all this. The little thing, Johnny. I don't even think you know this. All the animals are on the floor. You had them in the floor and in the back and all over the place. And I knew the way it was going to look. I knew it was going to be outstanding because everything you do is outstanding. And I said, Robert, I want to take a before and after picture. He says, absolutely not. Remember that? You did. I said, I want to take a video and show all these animals on the floor.
Yeah.
You said, absolutely not. I
you
said,
do it?
why not? No, you wouldn't let me do it.
I have a video.
Well, you wouldn't let me
Locked
do it.
away.
And the reason why you said, I don't want to show it until it's perfect.
Yeah.
And that's the way that this guy is. I mean, he doesn't want to do anything unless it's absolutely perfect. And whether it's you're a deer hunter and you go to a deer stand and it's perfect, or you have a meal and Jason the chef makes it and it's perfect.
You have enough batteries so the fans don't die when you're out there in 90-degree weather. in
Yeah, I mean,
September.
okay, speaking of that, okay, right now it's cold. Okay, I mean,
Freezing.
it's cold. Okay, it's after Thanksgiving while we're taping this, and it's cold. Okay, snow on the ground, but tell everybody, when do you run hunting season?
Yes, we start our hunting season in the end of August or so with our disabled youth hunts and learn to hunt programs and our Purple Heart veteran hunt. And then we go all the way until just before Christmas.
Yeah, well, the deal is the Wildlife Center. You're gonna, as a hunter, you're gonna be able to come in here and experience it. But the Wildlife Center is open year round.
It is
too. And so tell everybody about what happens after hunting season.
Yes, after hunting season, we have so we are open up with wild game dinners from January through May, and each wild game dinner represents a different mission that we're trying to raise money for. And whether it's our school tours program, we'll pay for all the busing for these students. So here in 2023, we were able to have over 2,800 students come through our museum on a whole guided tour of the museum, teaching them about 15 different concepts of conservation, and then as well as a 1.1 mile snowshoe hike or hike through the property. The kids and school teachers loved it, and every year I'm looking to expand that. We're really targeting 6th through 8th grade, and every year everybody is starting to sign up, and I want to get more and more of the local people, local schools out here, and hopefully in the way future, possibly look for expansion and try to scale it across state lines.
So these kids are like from what, 11 to 13 years old?
Roughly, yes.
Stuff
Yeah,
like
just
that.
before high school.
Okay, and as far as funding goes, explain to people how this is funded.
Yeah, so this is funded all by the guests that come through. So we ask, if it's just a private tour, we ask for a $20 donation for an adult or $10 donation for a child, and or other nonprofits or companies can make, or individuals can make a donation and place it where they would like it, or art. I have acquired about over 120 different artists from all around the world, and their specialty is wildlife art. And I love it myself. That's my passion as well. So I've been able to acquire a bunch of amazing artists, have them displayed along with all the art with the taxidermy in this wildlife center, and we put it for sale. So some of it's on consignment, some of it the wildlife center owns, and we look to raise money that way. And the more money we raise, the more lives we can affect, from first-time hunting programs to the disabled youth hunts, Purple Heart veteran hunts, our new program with the DNR, Michigan DNR, with the hunter education programs, to scholarship programs and for Michigan college people, students, all the way to conservation projects all around the world, from building wells over in Africa to translocating pronghorn from Utah to Arizona, to radio collaring black bears in southern Arkansas to open up that hunting down there for black bears. And we're trying to have our hand in a little of everything, and but trying to rein it into our main focus is the school kids and the education of the importance of conservation through hunting is the main goal.
You ever get any animal rights people in here?
We have people that come in. We've had one woman that came in, and she had to leave. It was challenging, but it's okay.
Well,
You have to know what you're walking into. You're coming into Legends Ranch. Then you're going to go into the property of the Wildlife Center, and if you ask about the Wildlife Center, it is a collection of hunted animals from all around the world. So people, if you're not comfortable with it, I will love everybody to come and understand it and ask the questions. I just hosted a celebration of life this past week, and we had 170 amazing people. They had to come, and I've had a couple people that didn't understand it. They asked me, and I told them the facts and the science, and they understood after.
Yeah.
They did not.
They just listen.
They did not understand giraffes. They were sad, and
Or an elephant.
I was sad when I harvested it, but I understood why.
Yes.
Why it has to be done.
Well, the hunter plays a very important role in the future of animals, and you know it's hard to explain to people how a hunter loves animals.
Correct.
Okay, how can you explain to somebody who doesn't hunt that we love animals so much that we can kill them? That's kind of a tough one.
It is.
Okay, but when you tell them that we're not killers, we're hunters.
We are hunters.
Okay, and we carefully determine which animals we want to take, and we take time, and we love what we do, and we're doing this, because we enjoy it. I think, and one thing that it's fun. I mean, Arthur, your grandfather, he loves hunting. It's fun. Okay, there's nothing wrong with it. It's fun, but we're also doing a really important mission
Correct.
for the future of people that don't hunt or haven't hunted yet. And we're turning people around all the time and changing minds all the time. And that's one thing that I'm excited about. For example, on this trip here, we've got some young hunters, some first-time hunters, okay, women, children that have never hunted before. And they're here in the celebration at night. You see they're celebrating like somebody's great big old buck they got. Or somebody's celebrating their first deer that they got a doe. It doesn't matter. It's a celebration of the hunt is what matters.
What was your
Passing
first
it on.
animal, Keith?
My first animal was a rabbit.
Yeah.
And I remember
know that.
it was
That's cool.
a rabbit. And, I shot it left-handed out of the car, boom, out of the window. And as I remember it like I just did it. But
Who were you with?
My dad and my mom. I mean, I think as a hunter, I think we all remember those animals that we took. Okay?
Guess what mine was?
Huh? A deer.
Guess. No, you
Turkey.
can guess.
Turkey.
Yeah, turkey, baby.
You know what I was going to say?
Come on.
I was going to say a cat.
Oh, what? No, that was much later on.
One thing with Johnny over here, he is the bigged turkey fanatic I've ever met. It's just turkey.
Robert's with me on it, but Keith, not so much.
No. I'm not really a turkey hunter. And I don't know why that is. But okay. Back to the Wildlife Center. You do have turkeys in here.
We do.
I challenge you when you come to the Wildlife Center to find an animal that they don't have in here. I just challenge you. Okay, they got rhino, they got it, lions got them, gazelle, they got them, grizzly bears, wolverines, sheep. I mean, they got it, bison. I mean, they got them. And I was looking around through here and I thought, I got y'all on something. I know there's something in here that I got that y'all don't have. And it was a pronghorn antelope. And I said, I got a pronghorn and y'all don't. I looked around and I said, I'll be doggone, there's one right there. Y'all
And
got
probably
me.
5 more next to it.
That's
Yes,
right.
I have 2 that we are working on. That's a couple of the ones at the taxidermy shop fighting.
Really?
Yes,
Oh, that's cool.
I went out 2 years ago to Colorado, my uncle and I was like, how can we have something unique? And I've never seen 2 pronghorn fight until I was out there, and one was rolling around another one and everything. I thought that was so neat, and it was like the head was pushed down on the ground.
They're so
Then the
aggressive.
dust was flying and everything. I had no idea. It
And
was-
you're a hunter.
yeah, but I never thought of doing a pronghorn hunt, and I did it because I wanted to start gathering some of them from North America and all of that. And I don't have many species from North America, and I saw that and I thought it was cool. I'm like, let's pay respect and let's educate. I never knew that, so we have it almost done, and it's gonna be displayed over here in the center.
That's cool.
Okay, so let's talk about this. So somebody that doesn't hunt may look at it and think that all you did was you kill it, and took its head or horns or cape off of it, put it on a mannequin. What happened to the meat?
The meat we give to the local community.
There you go. And
I wanted it, but I
but I'm not talking about just on the pronghorn.
No,
I'm talking
no.
about all these animals.
Oh, of course.
I mean, it's
Oh my
I
gosh.
tell people as a hunter, nothing goes to waste.
No.
Nothing. Okay, and so we look at if to me, my favorite animal in here And the most impressive animal in here, there's a ton of them, is the elephant.
For sure.
Yes.
Okay, and I go back there and look at the elephant. I mean, the detail, the size, and I've been to Africa I don't know how many times, and I've seen the elephant. They're the most incredible animal, but most people don't have any idea the story behind the elephant and the reason why hunting is so important.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, but elephant are eaten too.
They are.
Well, when we went, the coolest thing, we went to Zimbabwe, and the coolest thing about that trip by far was elephants are actually my favorite animal. But when we went over there, I'd say that there are two animals that are like big time as far as people having a problem with hunting them. And in reference to that, this trip that we went on was so educational to me, mainly because the need for management of these two species over there. And you really saw it when we got on this conservancy, and there were elephants everywhere and lions everywhere. And when you saw the elephants were, depleting, the underbrush and the overbrush and everything, just destroying everything, and the bushbuck and the kudu would be affected. And then the lions, because they put, due to, USA government, oversight, the lions, yeah, they put, restrictions on the elephants and lions, and the elephants were destroying the habitat, and the lions were eating all the zebras, gemsbuck, wildebeest, and all that. And it really was a perfect example of the need for management, whether it's a whitetail or a big old elephant, and people don't understand that.
Correct.
See, well, I don't think people understand that in parts of Africa, those people are poor.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm talking about poor, okay? Like, people say, well, we have poor people in the United States. We have fat poor people in the United States, okay? In Africa, those people are poor.
You haven't seen
and
poor.
meat is
They're trying to
something-
survive.
Yes, they just want to live. And I know the very first experience that I had, I was in Zim as well, and it was in 1999, and there was a German couple that every year they'd go over there, a very wealthy German couple, and they'd kill an elephant apiece. It's like, wow. I mean, I'd never been around, never experienced anything like that. And so we were over there, and they killed an elephant. And we got a call on the radio that had this elephant dead. It's like, man, we got to go. So we drove over there. And by the time we got there, there were 200 blacks that were there. 200. Okay, where they come from, we don't know. They didn't, but now they've got a lot of cell phones over there, you know that. But back then they didn't. They showed up with bags and machetes and knives and axes and buckets and boxes to carry away the meat. And these hundreds of people were over there, and of course, they skinned the elephant out, took the tusks out of it and all. And when they cut them loose, they went to work on it. I mean, they were cutting meat off of it like crazy. And inside of 2 minutes, one of them stands up. He had a machete stabbed from his back right through his chest like this. And you have to have a government guy with you, as you well know, on dangerous game. And he rolls over dead right there, rolls over dead. You know what they did? They rolled him off and kept cutting the meat. They never missed a beat. They never missed a beat.
I've never heard this story.
They never missed a beat. Okay.
I've heard this.
It is like, it's the reason why is because they wanted the meat. We value life in our country, okay? But over there, it's like the value of life. They're just trying to survive, okay? They're just trying to survive. And so the elephant provided thousands of meals. I mean, you talk about your wild game dinner. Okay, what's funny, we were at the G2 Ranch, and I shot a buffalo and posted on Facebook, and Robert saw it. He said, what are you going to do with the meat? I said, I don't know. And we talked about it, and so that buffalo got sent up here, and it's been served at wild game dinners here at the Wildlife Center.
Raising funds for all of our mission.
It was like a year ago, and they're still eating on it.
And they're still eating on it. So you can imagine how many natives, an elephant would feed. But the same thing is with a giraffe. I mean, I remember it was this kind of a cool story. You got a life-size giraffe over here. Giraffes and elephants are extremely destructive.
Very.
Now, and people don't realize that. I mean, a giraffe can't bend down and eat on the ground like a deer can. Okay, giraffe's going to pick out of the top of a tree. Okay, that's what he does. And he's hard on the habitat. An elephant can go up to a tree the size of a telephone pole, and when he wants to eat something off of it, he wraps the trunk around it, just snaps it like a popsicle stick, and it's gone, and he kills the tree. He destroys a habitat. And so they have to be managed, okay? It's not like, okay, what are you going to do? How are you going to translocate an elephant? How are you going to move a giraffe? He's 20 foot tall.
They do it.
Oh, I know they
How
do it, but who
expensive is
pays for it?
Yeah.
How expensive is it?
Yeah, exactly. And where do they go?
Yeah.
So these same people that are sitting here with the bleeding hearts, like, oh, well, you shouldn't kill it. Okay, what do we do with it then?
You can move them.
Yeah, but where are you going to move it? You want it in your backyard?
Well, you have to move it to a different area, but you already have to think about all the anti-poaching measures for that area. Is it a safe area to move it, or are you just moving them for them to get poached?
And so, and that's a very good thing to talk about poaching, because these people in areas like the Zimbabwe where you were, they're poachers.
Yes.
These people need the meat to eat, and they poach these animals, and they sell the meat. They eat the meat themselves. That's what they do.
What is really, really interesting for our trip to Zimbabwe, what they were telling us is some of the game scouts that have been working there for so many years are getting their families held hostage, and those game scouts are now have to turn on those ones protecting those rhinos to be able to give that up to the poaching rings to be able to save their families. How incredible!
Yeah.
How crazy is that? You spend your whole life, or not? You spend your job to try to protect these rhinos that are over there, and then a poaching ring comes in, takes your family, and then threatens you with, like, I will kill your family.
There are big portions of Africa that, if there wasn't hunting, if there were not hunting conservancies in place, these people would have no living at all.
No.
Other than living directly
And there
off
would be
the
no
game.
animals.
No animals.
No, it will be all farmland.
And the crazy part is the people working there. I mean, Keith could tell you better than I could, but the people working there that are taking you out to hunt, the nicest guys in the world, they would be the poachers if the conservancies were not there, and they would know real good how to get it done too. It's crazy.
Yep.
I mean, it's very interesting.
When the animals have no value, there will be no more animals. Okay? Animals have to have value for us to value them.
Yep.
And the hunter places a value on them. Okay?
Let's talk about North America.
Go ahead. Start it.
Let's talk about alligators or turkeys. The alligator here in, what was it, like back when you were a kid, there was probably not many alligators
Not many.
down in Southeast America.
But now there's a bunch.
But now there's a lot, and they didn't just appear like that. You have to get the alligators to a certain size, whether it's 6 or 7 inches or something like that, or bigger. But you have to do that by working with the DNRs down there and things like that, by raising them and looking at the meat and the commercial leather industry, and then taking so many out of the egg nest and everything, and
You take so many out and you leave so many.
and then you leave so many, but
Yes.
then you have to reintroduce them. And they reintroduced a bunch back in the day of the size. They get them through that vulnerable stage, and then they reintroduced them, and now they're doing very well.
Speaking of that, you've got alligator here in the wildlife center.
Oh, yeah.
You've got life-size crocodile over there. Have you ever killed a crocodile?
I sure have.
Have you really?
Yes.
You do it with a rifle?
Yes, I did. I did almost everything with a rifle.
Really? I mean, I just look at it and think, I've known some people do it with a muzzle loader, but a centerfire rifle is by far the number one
Yep.
thing. But did you enjoy doing it?
Me, I did. I didn't get the biggest one. I shot one that was about 9 foot. It was very nice, but I was hoping for one a little bit.
Did he die right away?
He did. I shot
You
him.
shot him in the
I
brain?
shot him in the smile.
You're good.
In the
So
smile.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yes, right in the smile.
Did you
Yeah.
say a muzzleloader?
Why?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why are
Was
you?
that? Yeah. Why?
Why are you going to choose a muzzleloader?
Is that common?
For the hell of it.
Oh, yeah.
Because you
okay.
can.
Because you can.
Because you can.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, because there's people want to do that. It's like people that want to kill a deer with a spear.
Yep.
Okay.
They do.
Because you
Or a 50
can.
caliber.
Yeah, or a
Yeah.
50 BMG.
Or an air gun.
Yeah, an air gun.
Yeah.
Hey, so,
Mini crossbow.
And that's the cool thing about hunting. Hunting is what you make of it.
It is, and who you hunt with.
Yes, it's all
And the
about the
stories you
experience.
remember.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so when you took your first buck, odds are you remember when it was, don't you?
I know my first buck. I killed my first buck without a bullet.
Would you hit it in the truck?
No.
What?
No. I killed my first buck with a splinter.
Wait, what?
I don't tell this story. Randy, Randy, one of my head guides, and when I was 12, I was flinching. I was shooting a 7mm ultra mag, and I was flinching a lot, and I hit the wood right in front of where the bait was, and the bullet hit it, and then we went up to go look at it, and it was down. The deer dropped, and then we went to go look at it, and we couldn't find the hole. So we brought it back to camp. We gutted it, didn't find a hole. The last day when we went to skin it up, as Randy skinned it up to the neck, still no hole. Where is it? He went to go cape it, still no hole. He went up and saw a little tiny little red line going up from his eyeball to his head that was all red, and he had a brain aneurysm from a little splinter. That hit him up in the eye. And that was my first buck, whitetail deer.
Really?
I've ever got, and it was on film.
Now, folks, top that.
I can't
I have
believe you've never told us that story.
Nobody asked about my first buck, so you just asked, or about my first deer.
Oh my gosh!
And I have never done that. Or I don't know if anybody could ever. It's nuts, absolutely wild. But it's just I was really small.
We have one almost like that about the 50 BMG. I mean, you know, that happened out here.
Yes.
I wound up, you know, we've got a pretty active YouTube channel, and we got a lot of videos on there. And we did it was up, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, whatever, up here, and somebody had a 50 BMG. I'd never shot one, and I asked him, "Can I shoot it?" And yeah, he can shoot it. So I shot it, and I asked Robert, "Can I go like hunt for a doe?" And Randy went with me, and Randy is a professional taxidermist. So when Randy says something, believe me, it's true. Randy knows what he's talking about. Okay, so if it died of a splinter and aneurysm, I believe that. So anyway, we go out, and I shoot this doe. And I don't know how many millions of views the thing has on YouTube, but it's got a bunch.
Yeah,
okay,
10.
a lot. And people call bull crap on it, and other people go, "Whoa!" But I missed the deer and killed the deer. And when we walked up to it, it's like, huh? I mean, the deer didn't have any eyes. And how that happened, I don't know. But how some stuff happens, and when you go out, whether you're hunting or fishing, it's like, how the hell that happened? You know, it's like, but it did. Why would I lie about it?
My favorite thing about that is we were at SHOT Show, and Jerry Michalek, who's like one of the best shooters in the world, walked up to you, and I was sitting there watching. He goes, "Now," and I'm talking about this guy is like the shooter. He walks
he's
up
the
to
daddy,
Keith.
yeah.
He's the daddy. He walks up to Keith, and he's like, "Now, Keith, what do you think happened with that doe? I've been trying to figure it out for like a year now." He couldn't figure it out.
I love that.
Yeah, but you know so there's always a story, and you know that's the cool thing about it. I think tonight one of the ladies wound up brought a deer, and she's from Maine. She wound up she had tears in her eyes. It meant so much to her, and I think it meant a lot to me to see that it meant that much to her.
Yeah.
The one thing that kind of irks me about some hunters is that it doesn't mean something to them. I think, you know what, if it doesn't mean something to you, why are you doing it? You know, I think these animals give their lives for us, whether they're big or little, doesn't make any difference. And as a hunter, we wind up, we take their life. And so one thing that I've always wanted to do is try to learn more about that animal even after I shoot it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the other day you were doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember who shot the animal. Oh, well,
You
I
did.
did.
I roll up. He shot a buck. We were both hunting separate, and he shot a buck, and I roll up there with the guy Trent that owns the property. And by the time we got there, it was probably like 20 minutes. By the time we got there, he said, "Now look at this. This is where it did this." You knew the whole deer.
I said, this deer has lived in a rocky environment. How do you know that? I said, look at his hooves. I said, they're wore down. I mean, if he was living in the sand, there's no way that he'd have those worn down hooves. Look, he was hung up in a fence.
In 1999.
Yeah, I mean, in the back leg on the inside, he was hung up on a fence. You could see the scratch all the way down there.
Yeah.
You could see where he'd been rubbing on different trees. And it was like, you can learn so much from an animal just sit there and enjoy it. Speaking of that, I know that when we go deer hunting, we want to shoot the right animal. Okay, and to shoot the right animal, it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you got to ID the animal. Okay, you got to make sure you're shooting the right animal. I think many hunters don't spend enough time waiting on the right animal. What do you think?
Yeah.
It's excitement. I get excited when a deer and any animal comes in. I want to age it and everything, but
Yeah.
I also
Pull the trigger.
I want to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
I'm here to hunt. But it's just you got to learn, and you got to be patient, and you don't need to shoot every animal that comes by, and teaching that is very important.
It's patience.
It is,
It's
but
patience.
it's not all about the kill. So
Not at all.
for me, and why I do enjoy turkey hunting and deer hunting and everything, and iguanas too. Waking up in the morning, sitting in the blind or underneath a tree when it's so still and quiet, and then waking up to the world come alive, and then the birds start chirping, and then the turkeys start gobbling up in the tree, and then you hear the wah 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 coming on down. It just gets me so peaceful. You're able to enjoy life without a distraction, without that phone for 2-3 hours, just to you and Mother Nature, and it's therapeutic.
It is therapeutic. You know, we all wound up we're hooked to these things.
Yes.
Every one of us. Okay, some of us worse than others. And the thing is, it's a damn device.
Yes.
But you got to have it. But at some point, it's like, wait a minute. The best part of your life is when this thing is away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you can watch that sunrise or that sunset, and you can listen to those birds come
Yeah.
in, or you could experience it without the distraction.
You can, but it's also very hard. Do you challenge people to not bring their phone out with them while they're hunting? Or do you want them to bring it to remember those experiences more because you remember by the pictures and the videos? So it's a double-edged sword. Like,
It is.
I don't know. I don't know what the best part is. Do you? I struggle with it because I want to film. I want to film. I want to be able to remember these experiences, and I want my guests to be able to. But I also want them to not use it. And then I don't know. I don't know what the answer is to that. So
I always say life is full of choices, and
It is.
And the good thing about it is it's full of choices, and you can make those choices at different strokes for different folks. You know, I mean, some people are on their phone all the time, and for me, it's like, you know what, I don't want to. I mean, the way I honor an animal is to treat it with respect. Is even when we kill it. I mean, if we can't get good video of it going down, we will not do it. You know that.
No, will not pull the trigger.
I mean, it is a matter of respect, number one, for the animal, and number two, for the viewer. Okay, the viewer is watching to see that kill shot, and there's a lot that can be learned from it. There's some hunting shows that, I don't know, are you aware of these hunting shows now are starting to pull the kill shots off? They're because of peer pressure. They say, you know what, we shouldn't show that because we're offending people. I'm thinking, if that offends people, then, you know, just turn the channel.
Yeah, watch something else.
Yeah, but, you know, the kill is part of it. That's what we do, but it's not all we do. That's the climax, but after the kill, you kill a giraffe. I mean, you're going to be working for half a day with a whole bunch of people getting it in a cooler. You know, I mean, there's a lot of work that goes on afterwards. It's not just the kill. But, you know, I think as hunters, we have to look at this and go, you know what? We need to explain to other hunters that we can do a better job of explaining why we do this.
Yeah.
And that's what the Wildlife Center does.
I know, and I love the educational aspects of this. Truly, like we were talking about earlier, like going around to all the mounts, and you guys do tours as well of very specific things. Everything from what you got. I noticed that you got that elk pack on your back,
We
carrying
do.
that around.
yeah, I challenge people.
Interactive.
Hey, you want to go do a lap with the elk backpack?
Yeah.
This is nothing
I
compared to if you go out to Colorado or whatever and
Yeah.
try to backpack your elk.
Yeah.
This is just the start of it.
Yeah, and something back to the elephants and the lions and stuff is that, you know, a lot of people out there, the cool thing about this place, you know, like bushbuck. Most people out there don't know what a bushbuck is, so they don't care that they're, you know, being affected by the overpopulation of elephants. But when you come here and you get to see the elephant, you get to see the bushbuck and really learn about the difference between these animals and how they need to be managed and how, you know, conserved. That's the whole point of this place, and it's super cool.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have lots of different stations that talk about overgrazing, that talk about Teddy Roosevelt and his impact on hunting, that to Arrowhead Station, where we give out arrowheads and talk about where hunting's evolved from, to shotguns and rifles and what people are using for what reasons, and bow and arrows, to a whole bunch of different. We're just I want hands-on experiences for kids and for people to learn on the importance of why we do what we do.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to tell y'all. There's okay. The Wildlife Center is it's nonprofit. Okay, it the only way it exists is for people to contribute money to help it with its mission. And you look around through here, and there's different names on the board, on different boards, different. It's all people that have contributed, and it's something that grows every week. It grows, okay, and hopefully it would grow every day. And so if you're watching this and you're thinking about, that's kind of cool, okay, it is really cool, and it's something that when you put your money towards many of these charitable organizations, you kind of sit back and kind of wonder, I wonder if that's really going there.
Yeah.
I wonder how much of that really is going towards whatever the mission is. But I want to tell you, like, for example, I mean, the last time we were here, I made a contribution, and so this time I come and my name's on the plaque up there, and I didn't do it for my name on a plaque. I did it to help a first-time hunter come hunting. And lo and behold, there's a first-time hunter here that I sponsored, basically.
Watching them getting to go hunting.
It's like, how freaking cool is that?
She's going to try tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And it's like, wow, they're here because we created this opportunity. And I think, so, there's three things that people can give, it seems like, to a charity. You have time, talent, or treasure.
Correct.
Okay, those are the three things you have. Everybody has one of those things probably to give. Okay, time, talent, or treasure. And so if you want to give to something I think is really cool, if you're a hunter and you're interested in trying to help protect hunting for the future, figure out what you got, time, talent, or treasure, and then contact the folks over the Wildlife Center.
Yeah. We have volunteers that will help us with the hunter education programs. We signed up, I believe, 8 this year, 8 new volunteers to help us educate directly the kids that are coming through with hunter education programs. We have people that want to just help with the gate, opening up the gate, that don't expect anything, but it helps us with our events.
And they've built a great big rifle range. I mean, they've got a facility now you can shoot pistols and rifles and
Everything.
your bow, and I mean, it's wonderful. And then one of the things that we talk about tradition and the cool thing about coming up here. One of the things that was here the first day I got here, and it's here today, and every single time I've ever been here, there's a fire going.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Always going.
Hunters love a fire, and there's always a campfire, and it's always going.
Yes.
No matter what time of year.
That's number one.
It is the most amazing thing when you walk out, you go,
Smell.
I love that smell.
You said it earlier. I heard
It's
you
hunting
say it.
camp. It's hunting camp. All my employees, they know if they walk by the fire and it's getting low, throw on some wood, place on some wood. I fell in it one time, not good, but just place it in, and it's just great. And fire is just natural, and it's just the beauty, simplicity of it, and that's instead of the phone, just watch that.
It's the experience. It's therapeutic.
Yes.
Sitting there with your loved one or having a cocktail or whatever, sitting by it, and not even saying anything. It's just sitting there looking at the fire, thinking, "Wow,
I'm grateful.
It's time to unplug."
I'm grateful to be here.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so this place to me is just magnificent.
Well, another cool way you can donate is by clearly Robert and his family have been to dang near, I don't want to say every outfitter in the world, obviously, but a lot of outfitters. So booking your hunt through the Wildlife Center, through these guys that have been to all these places and know firsthand a lot of good outfitters. That's another way. A portion of the proceeds will go right back into that, right?
Correct.
Hold on a minute. I'm going to tell you, if you want to go on a hunt, period, I don't care if it's a duck hunt or buck hunt or you want to go to Africa, Russia, whatever, you're going to take a chance, going. And nobody likes to take a chance going on a hunt. They want to go on a good hunt. They want to make sure that it is good. You go to a good place, got good animals you're going to be taken care of and all. And when you deal with Robert and the people at the Wildlife Center, they've been there, done that, guaranteed. Yeah. They know the places to go. And so when you go, look, I want to kill a great big old grizzly bear. I want to go for a sheep, or, I'm interested in going on a big mule deer hunt. Whatever it is that you're interested in going on, they've been there, done that. Many, many, many times. And they know the best outfitters in the world, literally. And, I mean, we just came back from a trip to Spain. Yeah. And it was called a Monteria. And it was an incredible trip. And it was very expensive in time and money. But the thing about it is when we went with the Wildlife Center and the group that Robert put together, The proceeds went to help the Wildlife Center in their mission, but also it assured us that we were going with the right people at the right time to the right place, and we killed the right animals, and it was a win-win deal for everybody. So if you're interested in going on a hunt for anything, anywhere globally, the Wildlife Center can help you out, and you'll be helping the Wildlife Center out at the same time.
Yeah. I don't want to say what's your favorite place because that's so cliche, but tell us maybe some of your cooler.
Some of the cooler places.
Yeah.
They're all incredible. Every place is unique. It's about the people you bring and you surround yourself with and their experiences. But Africa's and it's incredible. Patagonia. I just did Patagonia 2 years ago with my family, and we had the best time down there. Most breathtaking views. The same experience as Legends Ranch, and all 100% first class, and I loved it down there. I cannot wait to go back, and I think you guys should join. Spain, again, like you just said, Spain was incredible. It's fun. It's a totally different culture, and seeing what they do with the animals after the Monteria, and just not everybody gets to see that. And
how necessary the Monteria is.
It's very necessary.
And to give you an idea what the Monteria is, it's called a driven hunt. Okay, a driven hunt, they have 100 dogs, and they drive the animals past you, and it's like a shooting gallery.
I think it was like 300 dogs.
It's
everywhere.
unbelievable. Okay, and I mean, we're killing stag and boar and fallow deer, and I mean, it's in ram, and I mean, it's wonderful, exciting. And over there, they hunt 3 days.
Yep, for the property.
3 days, and that's it. Okay, it's not like over here where you have a 3-month season or a 3-week season. They hunt 3 days, and that's the way they get it done. Get it done,
Then separately did the ibex hunt too, dangling off the side of a cliff. That was.
I know. I felt like my life was in jeopardy, but I was more scared that Johnny was trying to get the shot, and he was going to go tumbling down. And I was gonna have to. I was gonna have to tell his family, or Keith was gonna have to tell his family, and I didn't like that.
He shot this beautiful ibex, and I was expecting him to go, yeah, but he goes, nobody move, do not fall off this cliff.
It's straight down.
Straight down.
You guys didn't look scared at all. I was scared, but I don't know. You guys just compose yourself. Or you guys had your
You were
footing.
scared enough for the both of us.
I was so puckered up on those rocks. It's like
it was not safe.
It was cool though.
What we do as hunters is
gosh.
sometimes not safe.
Sometimes it is not safe. I mean, as a hunter, I know
you
that
have to draw the line.
Well, yeah, but you know what? You invest a lot of time and money.
Yeah.
It's like, and then I know one time I was on a mountain goat hunt, and if ever you want to do something all your life, and then when all of a sudden you do it, it's like, oh my God, I don't know why I wanted to do this. I mean, nobody's got enough money in the world to pay me to do this.
Yep.
That's kind of the way it was on that mountain goat hunt. That's the way it was on that ibex hunt.
Yes, it was.
Because you're hanging on the edge of the world.
Yep.
And you're thinking, don't anybody breathe.
Yep.
Okay, but those are the kind of trips that hunters we look forward to.
Yes.
Okay, it gets your blood going. It makes you realize that, you know what, we are vulnerable.
Yes.
Okay, we're just humans. But we want to push ourselves to the limit. We want to experience all this, and these are memories that we'll never forget. But that hunt was all made possible because of us working with the Wildlife Center.
Yes.
Okay, there's no way that I would go on one of these big worldly adventures without dealing with somebody like the Wildlife Center. I just wouldn't do it because I'm not going to waste my time. Number one, that's the most important thing to me. And I'm not going to waste my money going to a place and coming back with a crappy hunt. I'm just not going to do it.
Yes.
So if somebody wants more information on the Wildlife Center, what do they need to do?
For sure. They can give us a call at 231-745-8000 or visit us online, either on our website, wildlifecentermi.org, or on social media, on Instagram or Facebook, the Wildlife Center at Legends Ranch on both, or Legends Ranch. So I'm always posting stuff that the Wildlife Center shares and stuff like that, but just reach out. We are always looking to we need support. We're looking for support, and we're in West Michigan, so if you're around the area, come and do a tour and just see what we're about.
I think if you spend the time to come here, you're going to be blown away. Every single person that walks in this building goes, whoa.
Yeah. No, and it gets better every time we come out here. My cup has my name on it, which is pretty special. The little things.
Mine doesn't have money.
Yeah.
I'm drinking water tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, new traditions every time, new people, and a dang good place. So
Yeah, we
Thank you,
appreciate
Johnny.
you.
Thank you, Keith, for all you do for the hunting world.
Yeah.
well, thank
It's
you.
it's a community. The hunters are a community, and it's something I think we need to be proud of what we do. You know, we can all do better at what we do, but I think we need to be proud of the job that we're doing, and I think we need to look for that common thread that pulls us together and pushes us to be better. You know, and I think by giving back, I think the older you get, the more you realize, you know, giving back is pretty cool. The old saying, you know, it's better to give than to receive. That's just not a cliche. This really is true.
Yeah.
Okay. And so as a hunter, I mean, you think about this. Okay. As I look at all these animals, and as a hunter, you probably got animals at your home or your office. You know, when you're dead and gone, is anybody going to care about them? Is anybody going to care about the outdoors and about the passion that you had during your life like you care? Is anybody going to care? And that's the older I get, the more I'm concerned about that. That's the reason why the more passionate I am about making damn sure that people care. They know why we do this. They know how important it is. They know that how few of us there are out there as conservation warriors to help protect the future of all animals and wild places for animals. And so I think that it's important for hunters to look for that common thread and support people like the Wildlife Center. And thank you, and thank you all for watching. And let us know what you think of the podcast. I mean, this is literally our
Just getting it going today. This got broken out about 2 hours ago. So
And so let us know how you think we did. And on future podcasts, like, you know, I've been thinking about what else can we talk about? Well, there's so much to talk about.
oh yeah.
Endless. And if you need any help brainstorming, I am a brainstorming master.
Oh, Robert and I we've done many brainstorming sessions. How about this? How about this? How about this?
Yeah.
But no, we want to hear from you. I mean, the whole thing about this is we want to build a community, a strong community, a community that goes both ways. You listen to us, we listen to you. Okay. And so if you're watching and you got a comment, put it down, man. Because if you don't put it down, you don't have a voice. We're giving you a voice. We're giving you an opportunity. If you got a question about the Wildlife Center, ask it. Okay. You got a question why we kill grizzly bears or what do we do with turkeys? And he can answer all the turkey questions. But you know, ask it because we want to build a community.
Yeah.
Okay.
And share this with a friend, please, so we can get this out here because we're just getting it going. So I'm enjoying it though, and it was fun to have you on.
Yes. Very fun to have everybody on too, but I think we have to say we're done.
Are you officially done?
I think we're done.
Is
What
that
do
a
you
wrap?
think?
Yes, that's what their suggestion is. End it.
This is ended officially. Adios.
People Who Hunt can be watched on Facebook and YouTube and listened to on all major platforms.